Have you ever wondered about the clash of the titans that was the Russo-Japanese War? A war that shocked the world and rewrote the rules of global power dynamics? This conflict began to brew as Russia and Japan, two emerging powers, squabbled over control of Manchuria and Korea. Negotiation teetered on the brink of failure, ultimately collapsing and diplomatic ties severed. The world watched, breathless, as tensions escalated, and so, as diplomacy failed, the stage was set for war, a war that would be far from ordinary. The fires of war were lit on February 8, 1904, with a surprise night attack by Japan on the Russian Eastern Fleet at Port Arthur. The Siege of Port Arthur was the first major battle, a brutal confrontation that lasted almost half a year. It was here that the world first witnessed the unexpected prowess of the Japanese forces. Despite being outnumbered, they fought with a determination and strategy that left the Russian forces reeling. As the war continued, the Battle of Mukden unfolded, the largest land battle since the Franco-Prussian War of the 19th century. The Japanese forces once again proved their mettle, outflanking a Russian army that was almost double their size. The Russian forces, struggling to cope with the harsh winter and the relentless Japanese attacks, faced a crushing defeat. Then came the Battle of Tsushima, a naval battle that would go down in history as one of the most decisive sea battles ever fought. The Russian Baltic Fleet, journeying halfway across the world, was annihilated by the Japanese Navy in the Tsushima Strait. Throughout the war, the Russian forces struggled against the unexpected might of the Japanese Army and Navy. Their outdated strategies and underestimation of the enemy led to their downfall. The tide of war had turned, and it was the rising sun that shone brightly on the battlefields of East Asia. The smoke cleared, and the world looked on in disbelief. The underdog had triumphed, but at what cost? As the dust of battle settled, the Treaty of Portsmouth was signed, marking the end of the Russo-Japanese War. A peace deal, brokered by U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt, left Russia and Japan to grapple with the aftermath. Japan's victory was significant, not just for the nation, but for the world. It was the first major military victory in the modern era by an Asian power over a European one. This victory marked the rise of Japan as a world power, shifting the global dynamics and challenging the Western dominance. Back in Russia, the war's defeat triggered the Revolution of 1905, a dress rehearsal for the larger, more profound revolution that was to come just a dozen years later. A nation's defeat in war ignited the spark for change, a change that would reverberate through the 20th century. In the grand theater of history, the Russo-Japanese War was a game-changer, an upheaval of the old order, a war where the underdog emerged victorious and the world was never the same again.